Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. So today we're going to be picking up where we left off with the Roller Beetle collection. But real quick, I did want to talk about one aspect of this mount that I failed to talk about in the first video. Now this isn't to detract from the Roller Beetle mount by any means, I'm just throwing this out here because again, part of what I wanted to cover in the original video was how it differs from some of the other mounts. Now, all of the other mounts have a disengage ability, and the Roller Beetle is no exception, but what's a little different here is that while the Roller Beetle definitely has a disengage that hurts enemies around you, it's kind of wonky, or at least it's kind of one of those abilities that you're going to have to plan ahead of time in order to land just right. Just like with the spacebar ability for the Roller Beetle, the disengage is going to give you a small boost, only this time, obviously, the Roller Beetle is going to roll away into nothingness. Now, where the planning comes in is, well, you get a boost right before the disengage, and because of that boost, you could end up quite a distance away from the enemies you're trying to fight. And so, I mean, I don't really think this makes it bad by any means, but you're going to have to break some of that muscle memory from nearly every other mount in the game if you want the Roller Beetle to end where the enemies are so you can instantly start actual combat with your character. Anyway, it's not super important, but it was something that I felt like needed to be brought up probably in that first video, and I failed to do so, so I just wanted to talk about that real quick. With that out of the way though, we can move on to part 2 of the collection. As I said in the last video, make sure you return to Goric in order to actually wrap up the first collection, but what I didn't say is that you actually have to talk to Petey at the end of that as well. Talking to Petey is actually going to end the Beetlejuice collection and start the Beetle Saddle collection. This collection takes you around the domain of Corna, but it also takes you to some of the core Tyria maps, so for now we're just going to focus on the domain of Corna, and we'll talk about those other things later on. First up, we're going to need some Inquest power schematics, and for this, I think the best waypoint to start out at is the Apismic Grounds waypoint. From here, you just need to head west and follow the path until you can make a slight right into a cave system. From here, just follow the cave to the right, and eventually it's going to open up into some more Inquest infrastructure. Here you should see 2 different levels, and you'll just need to take the stairs or use your Springer mount to jump up to the next level. In the small room on the second level, you should see 2 lab terminals, and we just need the one on the left-hand side. Interacting with this terminal is going to get you your Inquest power schematics. Now, we also need some Inquest Beetle notes, and these are dropped from any awakened Inquest on the map, but since we're already in a place pretty dense with Inquest, I recommend staying here and taking care of some Inquest until you get this item to drop. Along those same lines, we also need an MK2 power inverter, and these drop from Inquest golems. With all the Inquest, you would expect there to be more golems, but there really aren't a ton on this map. Just be sure to check events, especially the meta event that takes place right next to the large bridge by Gandera. This because as I make my rounds, there's almost always at least one golem in front of the bridge. And lastly, for the domain of Corna, we just need to complete any bounty. The bounty board for the domain of Corna can be found very close to the Allied encampment waypoint, and again, just pick whichever bounty you think you can complete. As always, I would recommend taking at least a few people with you, as these bosses tend to not be solo encounters. If you're new to bounties, just approach the bounty board, grab, again, any single one of these that you'd like, and it'll put a marker on your map. This is the part where you should probably get some people together before actually attempting it, and once you get close enough to that marker, a boss will spawn, and you'll simply have to take that boss out. Defeating this bounty is going to get you your Shadow Creator's Seal, and now we can actually start to talk about some of the stuff that doesn't take place on the new map. Next, we need a Steam power coupling, and this is actually in Lornor's Pass at the Lamentation waypoint. Just south of the waypoint, you should start seeing some Steam creatures. You're just gonna have to take those out until eventually you get your Steam power coupling. Next up, we actually just have to take out a world boss in core Tyria. If you've never really done any of the world bosses before, I'll leave links in the description to several boss timers. Basically, all you have to do is wait for the timer to say the boss that we need to take out, in our case, the Mark II Golem. When this boss is about to spawn, indicated by those timers, you'll be able to head over to Mount Maelstrom at the Old Sledge Site waypoint. From the waypoint, you just need to head north towards the giant circle on the map, and you'll just wait here until the boss actually spawns. As for the boss itself, well, the Mark II Golem is going to throw down a lot of AoEs, so it's a good idea to bring some range with you. World bosses tend to pull in a ton of people, so even if you are dying over and over again, don't worry. All you have to do is hit the boss a little bit and you'll still get credit. Also, if you should happen to fall, there should be someone to res you. And if not, you can always just head right back to that waypoint, repair, and try again. Lastly, for this collection, we need to do the Leyline Anomaly event. It's also a timed event, just like the world boss. And just like that world boss, I'll be leaving a timer in the description as well. The event is going to spawn about every 2 hours, so just keep that in mind. This event is going to take place in either Iron Marshes, Gandaren Fields, or Timberland Falls. If you've got some time to kill before the event, I recommend trying to get at least the majority of the waypoints in each one of these zones, just so that you're prepared for when this guy spawns. Try to be in the map a little early so you can group up with some other players, and so you're there when it actually spawns. When the event starts, just scout the map with your party, or check the map because sometimes you can see where the event is spawning. At the start of the fight, the boss is going to run and you'll have to CC him in order to break his break bar. While he's stunned, you need to attack all the anomaly fragments that he spawns. And after those adds have been dealt with, you need to attack him as much as you can because eventually he's going to start running again until you break his break bar, and thus the cycle continues. The time spent here may vary based on the size of your party and how much CC and damage they bring. Finally, defeating the Leyline Anomaly will get you your Anomaly Spark. We now have all the components necessary to complete this collection, so let's head back to Goric. This time talk to Blish first, then the Roller Beetle, Petey, and we're all done with part 2. And with that, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope this helped someone out there get that much closer to what is becoming one of my favorite mounts in this game. In the last video, I also made mention that you will need 50 of the new currency in the new map. So once you're done with all of this, I highly recommend heading back and getting yourself at least 50 inscribed shards out of the Corna supply caches. These are the purple markers on the map, and again, you will need 50, so just be sure to collect those now so that when you get to the third collection, you're not held back by something silly like that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.